Basketball is a team sport, as we all know, and relationships between teammates may often go beyond simply competing against one another. The NBA frequently fosters deep relationships and friendships because players spend a lot of time together both on and off the court. They are close buddies rather than just teammates. They exchange victories, defeats, and innumerable amusing moments. Here's uncovering NBA's best bromances. Number 16. Steve Nash and Dirk Nowitzki. If 2 or more seasons are spent playing together and there is good chemistry off the court, teammates often develop into close friends. Through the competition of having similar aims, but mutual respect that prevails off the court, players on opposing teams can also grow close to one another. They try to communicate and watch out for one another, just like our close friends do. Since Steve Nash and Dirk Nowitzki became best buddies when they joined the NBA, these two have enjoyed a true bromance. Early in their careers, they actually shared a residence, and Nowitzki is Nash's children's godfather. Despite playing in different cities, the two still have a tight relationship. Number 15. Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili. In San Antonio, Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili have formed a successful combo that has won numerous championships. They enjoy playing together, and they have each assisted the other in becoming one of the most illustrious international players to ever grace a court. The best part about their friendship is that Parker and Ginobili might have ended up on the wrong team just as highly talented athletes. But playing together, along with that Timmy Duncan guy, has elevated them to the status of legends, both globally and inside the annals of the San Antonio Spurs. Number 14. LeBron James and Carmelo Anthony. Almost 2 decades have passed since LeBron James and Carmelo Anthony first became close friends. Both players were among the most anticipated rookies in the 2003 NBA draft class. James and Anthony battled it out for years, with LeBron frequently coming out on top. Outside of the game, the two had gotten really close. Together on family trips, LeBron, Melo, Chris Paul, and Dwayne Wade showed how close their connection is. Number 13. Steven Adams and Enes Kanter. Several friendships were developed within the Oklahoma City Thunder organization over the years. The fact that Steven Adams and Enes Kanter both played the same position didn't prevent them from growing close despite the battle for the starting spot. To get the ludicrous moniker of the Stash Brothers, Adams and Kanter grew comparable mustaches. The friendship remained intact even after Oklahoma City traded Kanter away. Despite their rivalry, Kanter and Adams continued to publicly express their affection for one another. Number 12. Chauncey Billups and Rip Hamilton. For the Detroit Pistons, Chauncey Billups and Rip Hamilton made for a fantastic backcourt. They got along well both on and off the court. Unfortunately for them, as they aged and became more reliant on one another and their colleagues, their respective careers began to suffer. Billups and Hamilton did not have the good fortune to be traded together when they went on their next teams. Number 11. Karl Anthony Towns and D'Angelo Russell. Karl Anthony Towns witnessed the Minnesota Timberwolves make a significant move in order to please him. Towns and D'Angelo Russell's connection has been well documented as two players who get along well off the court. To formally welcome Russell to Minnesota following the trade, Towns was present at the airport. Russell joined the Timberwolves in the hopes that his closest NBA friendship would inspire both players to help the team reach the postseason. Number 10. Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum. Once you witness the real synergy Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum share both on and off the court, it is difficult to separate them. The live online feeds of Lillard and McCollum interacting with each other during the virus break have been a pleasure for Blazers fans. They are the closest NBA superstars to those who use their downtime to try to catch up or stay in touch. Number 9. Mike Conley and Marc Gasol. Mike Conley and Marc Gasol led the Memphis Grizzlies throughout their successful run as a secondary Western Conference contender, which included a trip to the Western Conference Finals. With their unique work ethics and altruism, both players cherished working as a team. When the franchise dropped farther down the pecking order, they realized it was time to make changes. After being traded, Gasol joined the Toronto Raptors, where he won an NBA title. Conley was also exchanged for Utah Jazz in the offseason. When they met as rivals for the first time in their careers, Gasol and Conley gave each other the largest hug. Number 8. Tobias Harris and Boban Marjanovic. Tobias Harris and Boban Marjanovic follow each other from franchise to franchise in the NBA, making it one of the more enduring bromances in the league. Together, the two players had runs against the Philadelphia 76ers, Los Angeles Clippers, and Detroit Pistons. When Boban signed with the Dallas Mavericks in free agency to end the Conrad tenure while Harris was still in Philadelphia, NBA fans were inconsolable. As close friends, They made sure to embrace when they faced off against one another for the first time in a long time. Number 7. Steve Francis and Cuttino Mobley. When they were teammates for the Houston Rockets, Steve Francis and Cuttino Mobley formed a superb and underappreciated backcourt, and their bromance started to grow. Francis was selected highly in the lottery, while Mobley was chosen late in the second round, making their combination implausible. Francis was one of the more athletic point guards in league history, and Cat Mobley developed into a brilliant left-handed gunner despite that. They had the good fortune to be combined and transferred to the Orlando Magic in the summer of 2005 in exchange for Tracy McGrady. But things didn't work out well in Central Florida. The Magic did the unthinkable and traded Francis' best friend since they weren't very fond of the concept of keeping Mobley. And Francis was in shock. Number 6. Jeremy Lin and Annie New York Knick. There was a justified bromance between Lin and every New York Knicks player, coach, and supporter. Lin preserved his job for the time being, which made Mark D'Antoni adore him. Because of Lin's presence in the lineup, teammates like Tyson Chandler, Landry Fields, and others have seen a significant rise in their performance. Finally, the fact that the Knicks are 5-0 since Lin began receiving playing time has the fans completely enamored with Lin. Number 5. Klay Thompson and Stephen Curry. By selecting two of the greatest three-point shooters in history who got along well with one another, the Golden State Warriors struck gold. From the beginning, Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson had a good working relationship and produced something exceptional. Both Splash Brothers were beloved by Golden State supporters. During the 3 seasons that Kevin Durant played for the team, the Warriors developed a new identity, but they are now reverting to their earlier glory. Curry and Thompson are great friends who hope to continue winning rings together for the rest of their professional lives. Number 4. Anthony Davis and DeMarcus Cousins. DeMarcus Cousins was acquired by the New Orleans Pelicans in a trade, and he quickly grew close to Anthony Davis. Cousins' injury put a stop to their time playing together, but throughout their brief time together, the two grew close. To have another opportunity to play alongside Davis, Cousins joined the Los Angeles Lakers in the previous offseason. With LeBron James running the offense, the two big men had high hopes for career years, but Cousins sustained yet another injury before the season had even begun. Number 3. Zach Randolph and Marc Gasol. When Z-Bo moved to Memphis, this perception that he was the team's cancer and the coach's worst nightmare abruptly changed. There were several justifications offered, but Eric Weiss of the Wages and Wins journals was the only one that actually made sense. Weiss claimed that Gasol's friendship with the troubled Randolph helped him evolve as a person and discard his bad boy persona. Gasol brought Randolph to Europe with him as part of their tour, and it's possible that this experience of being with a good buddy served to calm Randolph and enabled him to reach his full potential both personally and as a player. Number 2. Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant decided to join forces with the Brooklyn Nets in the 2019 free agency class. Prior to Irving's decision to leave the Cleveland Cavaliers and forge his own path in the league, the two faced off in the 2017 NBA Finals. Because of his problems with the Golden State Warriors, Durant also desired a new beginning. In order to develop such a plan, the players had to get closer to one another over the previous few years. Due in part to Kendrick Perkins constantly tearing down Kyrie Irving, Durant even initiated a social media feud with his former teammate. Number 1. Isaiah Thomas and Magic Johnson. The best bromance ever, outside of the NBA, was between Isaiah Thomas and Magic Johnson. Like most of the others, they were never able to play together, but their rivalry was made more enjoyable by their previous embraces and kisses. They made it common knowledge that opponents may be best friends before and after games while remaining ferocious rivals for the final 48 minutes. Both Zeke and Magic are NBA point guards of the highest caliber and members of the Hall of Fame. They restored their friendship later, and both of them sounded sincere in their excitement to see each other again. Their bromance had all but perished after Magic Johnson's forced retirement due to inappropriate remarks about Magic's situation.